I said, all these tracks are my favourite ones. But this one, a perfect track to start, is very tricky, and I'm excited to see how the drivers deal with the, like you said, it's very narrow, and people say it's like
Undulations, Bailey. It's not got a
undulation. Yeah,
lot of
perfect
altitude
words.
change, but
No,
it's a rocky road.
it's a
It's a
bumpy
rocky
way. Yeah.
road. We've got Jay Murr who followed as well. I think that he gave us a follow just because I tried to pronounce ribber nadriza. So yeah, you do have to give it your best, my friend, because yeah, as far as you know, that's someone's given name. The guys are coming along towards the start-finish straight, though. We do have another follow there. They're coming along the start-finish straight, Bailey. This is about to be 90 minutes of absolute flat-out madness, brought to you by SOP Motorsport. Green light, and they are away. We're watching the top four then. So King McGee side by side. He's lost out a bit there, so it's Bentley to Bentley, but it is a right-hander into a left, so he will have the better line here. Two of them leaving themselves just enough room, with Ian Egan lurking in the background with that Ferrari poised of Szymanski there, just waiting to go. We've got a bit of action in the background with the three cars going three wide, and I tell you what, King McGee has gone off track, so Sarista is absolutely going to close it back, and Simon Iska as well is going to close that gap as well. So the timing boards having a bit of a giggle there, but car number 7 is very much still up into second place at the minute. King McGee then still holding on to the lead there, Bailey. We've got a Porsche in the background that's lurking with the Ferrari of Simon Anske still hanging on there. So Egan and Camilio in the Porsches hanging on to the Ferraris and Bentleys, with Chris Humphreys in the Mercedes looking to make an absolute charge here. Has he made any moves? No, he's not. It's the timing board having an absolute giggle with us here, Bailey, but these pictures are absolutely beautiful as King McGee looks on to the Oulton Park beauty and enjoys a nice clean getaway there, and fantastic getaway from all the drivers, and he is off and running.
If that's not the definition of perfect start, I don't know what is. McGee has got away well. Bit trouble into turn 1. He did get pressurized from P2, but not too much, and he got his head down and he's got the move. Sorry, not the move, but he stuck to his position. We're watching Mr. Ian Egan in the very colourful Irish-inspired Porsche in 4th, so a fantastic start from him.
Yeah,
and behind him, Camilio.
Yeah, in the Porsche as well. He is looking to make a move, and there we go. Wow. If anyone wondered why Bailey and I were ever excited about jumping on board and doing PC commentary, this, ladies and gentlemen, is what you like to see. Two cars within half a second of one another, and they are hunting one another down. It's Porsche on Porsche action for a top 5 honours. And in the rear view mirror as well, you will also be able to see Kenny Millard and Sam Sue lurking. That's a Ferrari and Porsche. Very, very, very close in the background. Look at the inside of that Ferrari. Wow. Absolutely stunning machine. And he does have Sam Sue. Sam repping in a Porsche for this event. Definitely not a car I thought I would see him in here. That is, of course, TSR Wakey. I'm sure he's got loads of fans in the chat. If you are in the chat, say hello, by the way. Let us know how stunning this camera work looks. Are the sound levels all okay? Can you hear the engines and stuff over Bailey and I? We want to make sure that you definitely can. And are you enjoying the on-track action that these guys are bringing you, as we see, Bailey, a battle for the lead developing here? So Saristo absolutely putting the foot down, and King McGee is not now having the perfect getaway he was at the start of the race.
No, so the Mr. Bentley in P2, Saristo, is looking to make a move and get into P1 soon as. I've noticed Ian has got up into 3rd, so have we missed something here, or timing screens have let us down a bit?
No, I think there has been a bit of an incident with Szymanski. So Szymanski in the Porsche is tumbling down the boards. So he has been overtaken by Millard and Sue, so he's definitely not having a great day. Someone who is having a great day though is Hutch in number 32 and Bryant in number 88. He's got someone cheering him on in the chat. Leon's Meow. Oh, is that Leon? Is that Leon Seeley by any chance? If it is, good evening. If it's not, good evening anyway. RD and Yoka-chan, welcome to the chat. Jimmer, can't hear the cars, but the camera work is awesome. Right, well, let me fix that for you. If I do that, you should now be able to hear the cars, if I'm not mistaken. It's now a case of whether you'll be able to hear Bailey or not. If you can even hear me now, I'm not entirely sure, but let me know if the car volume...
Done, John, has affected your voice, my end.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, no, it's back.
It's back? Okay, so yeah, so I just turned it up a bit. So yeah, so there we go. That should balance it out slightly. I'll move my mic Hopefully you can hear that now. Good evening, James Lee. Good evening, Stu Yeji, for the follow as well. We've got all the follows tonight.
Wow.
Absolutely stunning. Welcome along, everybody. Thanks for joining in. It is Wednesday night. It is SOP PC night. The British GT Championship, brought to you in association with Gridfinder, who are sponsoring us for the entire series. So thanks very much to Gridfinder. We are on board though. Thank you very much as well to our cameraman, putting on an absolute show here. The drivers though, I would hasten to add, are making it a bit easy for them tonight, Bailey. They are absolutely throwing these cars. We do see just about, we were talking about it before, how this track is almost like Bathurst, in as much as once you make a bit of a mistake, it will kill you. We do see these cars undulating a lot on straight parts of the track. Their suspension absolutely put to the test, and if you're not on the driving line here, you could very quickly find yourself in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I think I can't really think of another track that does that to your car. That if you are going through a corner a bit too fast or a straight a bit too fast, it kicks you up and it could spin you. It could end your race just by simply driving, and the way the track is built. I can't really think of one on top of my head that does it. But you're right, you can see we're watching that beautiful camera angle from the back of P1. Is that Surrey still looking to make the move into P1 himself?
Yeah, yes.
Around the outside.
Side by side, into the very tight chicane. He's going to fall back into place, so it's a brave man that treads where angels fear to, and Siristo decided that was not the place to make the move, but giving us an absolutely spectacular outlook of what we have to look forward to here, Bailey. He's definitely letting King McGee know that he is in here for the long haul and would like to take himself first place. These guys do, of course, have their mandatory pit stop to take. As we're on board with Cornelio then, he's got a bit of damage there. He does have a bit of damage on that Porsche, unfortunately.
I did see some white flags, John, being waved, so I'm wondering if he's been for a trip on the grass himself, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him pit, or he's going to push through the damage and try and stick to his original plan, which he has at the moment. He is holding off Chris Jones, is it?
No, that's actually, yeah, it is the Lamborghini of Chris Jones. You're right, the time board of the day. It wasn't the number 63 car of Chris Jones that is looking to make Cornelio, because it's a Lamborghini. There is another Ferrari there, but that was Szymanski, who's making his way back up the field. So yes, so there we go. You see the number 327, that is Millard, and then you've got Szymanski in the number 22 car, who is hovering in there or thereabouts. So, but it's definitely, yes, the Lamborghini is in the background. But Szymanski then, he didn't have the best of starts. He qualified well inside the top 5, finds himself down to 9th and back up to 6th. So he's having a fluctuating day, much like the race that... was it Baggy or was it Sir Foch? Was it, in one of the, was in one of the Evo challenges. Drivers in the Evo Challenge qualified out of position. Oh, of course. No, it wasn't. It was Luca Tavernari. I do apologise, Luca. Sorry. Luca Tavernari.
In Imola.
Imola, yes indeed. Qualified what we suspected was slightly out of position. I found themselves dropping down to 9th, but getting a charge back up. But speaking of a charge back up, that was 3 wide there, into the tight right, coming back onto the start-finish straight. Ian Egan then up in the podium position, but Kenny Millard, Sam Su and Simon Iska are definitely looking to on that parade very quickly. Simon Iska has made short work indeed of Sam Su, so he's back up to 5th position. TSR Wake falling by the wayside there. Simon Iska, in my beloved Ferrari. Come on, Team Ferrari, up to 5th place now, and he's now hunting down Kenny Millard. So we've got Porsche, Ferrari, Porsche from 3rd through to 6th here, Bailey, and this is absolutely edge of the seat stuff for only being a couple of laps into this 90-minute race.
It is, and I'm almost falling off my seat watching Sam attack the Ferrari in his Porsche. Very brave thing to do, isn't it, to attack 2 Ferraris, let alone 1.
Indeed, a brave man.
Yeah, very brave. And what is I'm noticing is, because of the chicanes in the part of the track quite close, it's you've got a quick dash to one, slow down, and another dash to the other, slowing down, and it's grouping them up a bit. That's what we saw with with a Saristo and King McGee. I think that's what happened with the P2 and P1 drivers. I'm not too sure how they're getting on currently, whether the gap's just extended a bit. But Sam, on the back end of these two Ferraris, doing a really fantastic job.
Yeah, they really, really are. Sorry, Bailey, I'm just absolutely blown away by the pictures. It's just a pity that the broadcast equipment we use actually can't keep up, and we're only sending this out at 7:20. You and I, of course, are getting to see these pictures in all their glory. It is Wednesday night. It's the SOP Grid Finder sponsored British GT Championship. Absolutely stunning work. And speaking of stunning work, yeah, we're talking about Simon Ansky, and yeah, you definitely don't want to be battling against one Ferrari, like you say, but two Ferraris, yeah, that is definitely double trouble, as Sam Sue is finding out. He has been overtaken, and we can see visibly the gap there. We do have Baggy in the chat. How we doing, Baggy? He does like Ian's livery. Yep, absolutely. I've got a very Scottish coloured beard, so two of the colours on that car are very predominantly featured on my facial hair, and the reason I'm telling you that is because my daughter once very publicly in a restaurant said to me, "Dad, if you put a bit of green on your face, you'd very much look like the Irish flag." So thanks very much for that. Oh, the Porsche.
Sam is excited, I think, to get past. Is he thinking,
really
am I
is.
getting held up here, or is he thinking, let's get the move on, come on, hurry up? I'm liking that, though. I'm liking the zigzag. He's confusing the Ferrari driver, hopefully not confusing himself which way he's going to go, because that can get quite confusing in your head. But that Ferrari driver, yeah, he has. Simon Ansky has dropped off slightly, I think, because of the attack from Sam.
Yeah, I think as well, I think there's a bit of a bottleneck.
Yeah,
and as
right,
you know, this course, with it being so undulating, you're up, you're down, you're on the brakes, off the brakes.
Yeah.
Very difficult to get your acceleration in a concertina type effect. So yeah, very much it would be the cork in the Irish champagne at the moment is Ian Egan viciously holding on to his third place. The Ferrari of Kenny Millard unable to mount an attack. They've then got Simon Iska, who is looking and clearly more than capable of putting in an overtaking move, and he's struggling at the moment to get that move done. We're going to jump down the field though. We do have a McLaren 720S. Let me just jump on and confirm. Absolutely stunning work we've got there. That is, of course, who is that? Let me do that. Why does that never...
Sim.
Yeah, that is the number 22 car.
Yes. Well, no.
No, was that you
Number 7.
Was that you bravely about to try and pronounce something and then realised that it was unfair?
Well, you're right. It's the number 720. He's in 22nd position. I don't know his name.
Right, okay. Number 720. Well, at the moment though, we are on Buck, number 720. He is getting a lot of camera time, so he's obviously doing something right that the cameraman likes. He must be putting in some decent times. We've got Marky Mark then on camera as well, another man in a beautiful Ferrari. We do love the number of Ferraris that are on show tonight here. It's certainly going to make it an interesting championship. A lot of Porsches. We don't see a lot of Porsches. They have been making a comeback. The Mercedes hasn't featured as strongly as I thought it might, but Aston Martin, the big surprise for me in this championship, Bailey. We've got 3 of them on track, and we've got quite a few more in the reserves. So could we see a bit of an Aston Martin run for the title towards the end? Oh, is Egan's had himself a bit of a mistake. Oh, I know, yeah, so he's come back on via the slip road there. Sorry, I thought he was in a different section of the track. So yeah, he's gone.
Third to, well, further
oh, he's tumbling.
10th.
Yeah, he is tumbling.
10th, wow. So I wonder, is that literally, we've been talking about the track being, well, hold on.
Yeah, Millard is down to 5th.
Ferrari?
Yeah, Millard is down to 5th, so I think there might have been a slight coming together with those two. And Szymanski has gotten himself up into that podium position with TSR Wake now looking to make a move, because he is up to 4th. We see a bit of dust kicked up there from Saristo. I hope he is going to be able to keep it on track and keep it clean. he will be looking still to keep the pressure on King McGee and see if he can make a move in the pit stop phase. It is a 90-minute race. We've got an hour and 15 minutes left to go, and these guys do have a mandatory pit stop, and at the moment no sign of the weather changing. So we are 15 minutes into the race. It's been quite the opening stint. We've got McKenna down in 23rd, with Sign then 22nd. Bertolio moved up 8 places since qualifying to find himself in 21st in that beautiful covered Mercedes. We've got Marky Mark in 20th position in the Ferrari, with Shikinami in 19th, another Porsche man making his way through the field. We've got Omar in 18th, another Ferrari, love the Ferraris, and in 17th we have Mad Max Taylor, very much a driver known to the console fraternity. I think it was simply a case he'd had enough of the console not working properly, so he has jumped over to PC, and in 17th place at the minute. Seems like it was a pretty good decision, as he is getting the job done. We've got Sean Buck, definitely one of our regulars. We've seen him on console, recently switched along with the man in 15th, but he is in an Aston Martin, one of the cars we were surprised to see turning out so often tonight. We've got Van Hal then, he, another console Pro Series driver last season, finds himself on PC this season in that red and yellow, very familiar Ferrari that he drives. We've got Adam O'Neill then, he is showing up in the Bentley, one of his regular machines. He will be showing car number 69 this season, gotta love it. And then unlucky for some, number 13, it is Alex Phillips, AJ to the P, most recently seen on track with Jenson Button. Yes, the actual Jenson Button. So congratulations to AJ, it was a fantastic race that night, and quite frankly some great content for the SOP channel, so thanks very much. We've got Hutchison is in 12th in another Aston Martin, and just in front of him we've got Bryant, the number 88, who was getting a shout out in the chat earlier, in a sister yellow Aston Martin. So we'll have to find out in the chat, are those guys teammates, or is that a silly question, or have they just happened to have picked the same livery? We have Ian Egan is back up to 10th. Camilio in another Porsche is in 9th, and Ziga then, as some guys from our Evo Challenge will remember, he's showing up tonight. He's also in a Porsche, so the Porsches bunching together there in 8th, 9th and 10th, meaning that TSR teammate of TSR Wake, Chris Jones, in the lone Lamborghini. Never thought it would be the Lamborghini that would be the lone entrant here, but it is. He is in 7th with Kenny Millard in the The Flalala is how you say Ferrari in Scottish, apparently. He is in 6th with Neuwirth in 5th in an Aston Martin, so he has snuck up. Sam Sue then up to 4th place after all the battling. TSR Wake is making a move for the podium with Simoninski, who is quite frankly making life hard for himself. We have a back marker there getting out of the way. Oh, Ferrari off and on again. Simoninski did find himself at the start at the top of the grid, worked his way down the grid, and has worked his way back up again, meaning that Saristo is still in 2nd place, very much getting the job done for the Bentley. I've always thought this had a sneaking advantage here. I thought the Mercedes would do as well, just with the sheer size and weight being able to stick to the track. And Saristo is definitely making the most of that advantage here tonight. And King McGee then off out into the lead. We'll jump on board then for a lap with King McGee around this Oulton Park circuit, Bailey. An absolutely stunning circuit to start the championship. We've got lots more to come, but these guys definitely will be looking to make some moves in the pit stop, and given the positions of some of the cars, we really are going to see some battles very soon.
Oh, absolutely. I think as soon as the pit stops start happening and the pack starts to bunch up, that's when it gets exciting. That's when sitting at the edge of your seat doesn't help. You're going to start falling off it, I think. And I think Saristo, is he going to be kicking himself that he couldn't get the move done for P1? Because I have a feeling that if he got the move done, King McGee would be all over the back of him, yes.
Yeah.
But I think we would have had a bit of a lead change throughout the race. I think King McGee's in a bit of a what's the word? A flow. He's in a flow.
Yes. Okay.
Moment,
Yep. Got you.
He's starting to stretch the gap quite nicely, which is definitely what he wants to be doing. And yeah, I think he's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. We've got Simoninski then. He is trying to do a fantastic job. In fact, that's a Mercedes back marker. He's got, of course, 32 guys, I believe, we have on track at the moment, throwing these cars around like there's no tomorrow. Johnny M, how we doing? Welcome along. We've got a lot of chat going on, so good evening. Canny the Car with Carmore, awesome. Hello, Johnny. Descend, that's what he likes seeing his livery. Damn, that's close. The chicane cam looks amazing. Yes, it does. Go get it, Wakey. Yes, they are teammates. 88 and 32 are teammates, but they hate each other. Oh, well, there we go. Hashtag fitted GK Motorsport. Leon's Mew, ha ha ha, he's loving something. Johnny M, hi Sophie. Good evening. And Alex Smith, good evening. Hashtag fitted UK. So we've got a couple of fitted UK guys in, cheering on their teammates, even though their teammates appear to not be cheering one another on. But yeah, that's sometimes what you need. Let's face it, some of the greatest Formula 1 teams, Bailey, had drivers that didn't necessarily get on with one another. Not that a few
You're
million
right.
spring to mind. Not that Jensen Button never fell out with anyone. Of course, he's recently been on track with AJ to the P, Alec Phillips in the Indigo line. But we're on board with Ziga then in the Porsche. He is the middle Porsche in the pack of three that are looking to catch up with Sam Sue. Sam Sue taking advantage, of course, of some early mishaps for a couple of the other drivers and finds himself up onto fourth. But these two Porsches here absolutely hanging on to the back of one another as they come through this middle part of the track, very, very close to one another. They get here, very tricky acceleration through here. You very much need to use as much of the curb as possible without getting too much tyre on the gravel and losing too much grip. An absolute juggling match around this whole lap, Bailey, trying to squeeze every inch that you can without actually picking up too much tyre degradation or loss of acceleration.
It is, and I think you've got to be on your toes. Like, I think that's one of the great examples to compare it to Barhurst. You've got to be on your toes. There may not be much around you to completely take you out the race. Like Barhurst got some scary walls that I like to visit once in a while. Um, but this track has got,
Yep.
like you said, grass. The grass can be a devil in racing if you touch it, especially around this part of the track into turn 5, the loop section. That you're going so fast, you want to carry speed through there as well. So if you touch the grass, in a bad way, really, you could see your race end really, and it's a scary track, I must say.
Yes, it really is. It really is. And the teammates of Hutchison and Bryant then are looking to get moves done on Egan. Hutchison has got the move done. Bryant has been held up and has brought AJ to the P right back into the hunt in his Mercedes. So things about to get very, very interesting through that absolutely stunning, once again, chicane cam. I tell you, I really had to think about that. I very nearly got that very wrong. That could have been the end of SOP's Twitch career right there as we're on board again. Look at this spoiler cam we have for you here. Looking back then from Ian Egan's Porsche, we are looking on to Bryant in the Aston Martin, team car number 88 with AJ to the P in his Indigo Lime Racing Mercedes. Oh, and AJ.
Oh,
AJ's run wide there, Bailey. Did not expect that to be one of the
slightly,
outcomes
yeah.
there.
No, I honestly thought we were going to start seeing AJ come through the pack. Well, saying that, he's not as if he's dropped off too much. We can let that slide, I think, today.
Yes, I think we can. Oh, and they're still side by side though. AJ will
Oh
still
yeah,
be looking to get the overtake done here. He will be hanging in there. Blatant rage. Show the timing, lads. We are still getting used to this. This
he's got
is.
him.
Oh, he's got. Oh, yes, he has got him.
He's got him.
I
Wow.
expected to be able to answer that question, and I tell you what, he's going to get another move done. Oh, that's another Mercedes, so that's a back marker. Who gets out the way pretty fantastically well. We don't actually have individual access to the timing at the moment, Blatant Rage, but we will for the next episode. Homeschool Racer, press insert. Apparently pressing insert, Mr. Cameraman, fingers crossed. We are using the SDK, AJ making moves. Oh yeah, or he does have, you can bring up the timing. There we go. There we go. So we have got the timing now. Oh, that did cause a bit of a stutter, but we are back up and running. Well, there we go. So we've got the time in the well, we've got Marky Marks in the pit. So thank you very much. Homeschool Racer, thank you very much for replying to my message. We did, as you can see, managed to get everything sorted. And now that we've pressed the insert button, we've even got that sorted too. Is AJ looking to sort the back of his car there, Bailey? We're not used to seeing this from AJ. A lot of wiggling and jiggling in the Indigo Lime Mercedes here. And I tell you, Brian in the 88, he's being cheered on in the chat. Come on, Brian, get your foot down. And it looks like if he does, he could get a move done. Yeah, Bailey's still there.
Sorry.
Yes.
You sound like you're underwater currently.
I sound like I'm underwater currently. Alright, okay. Do I sound like I'm underwater to anyone else?
As if a slight connection problem with me to you.
Alright, okay, but I sound okay on the stream.
Yes, you sound okay on the stream.
Alright, okay, cool.
It's just I'm struggling slightly to follow what you're saying sometimes. I'm catching it, and hopefully I sound okay when I'm saying it, but just a little bit when I'm trying to follow what you're saying, you sound a bit weird.
Alright, okay, well.
But it's all good.
Yeah, we're both coming through beautifully on the stream, so as long as the viewers can hear. Oh, side by side, Ian Egan then. We're going to get the move done. Oh, that was a teammate. So that, I would hasten to bet, would be the Aston Martin of Hutchison, car number 32. He is the teammate of Bryant. And that is indeed Hutchison in 32. So he has found himself. He had made moves then, but he now finds himself in arrears to AJ to the P. So AJ was saw run wide uncharacteristically a few corners ago. And I would guess, Bailey, that may have thrown off the drivers around them because they've all made mistakes, and AJ's now up to 10th, and they're all now battling over what is effectively 12th position when Van Hal gets involved, and Lance Taylor, of course, Mad Max Taylor, in 15th, hunting these guys down as well. So definitely getting interesting here, and Alex Phillips looks like the main beneficiary of a bit of a mid-pack mistake by someone there. Bailey's still struggling to hear me, so that's fine. I will crack on. Nonetheless, yeah, homeschool, it would have been great to see you on board. We do have reserves, so feel free to pop your name down. You never know, a space may pop up. There is my endurance-loving friend, a 2-hour race at Spa, 2 mandatory pit stops. It is the middle week. It is the middle. It's a 7-week session, so we'll have 7-week series. So we'll have 3 races. We'll have 4 hours, 2 hours at Spa, and then we'll have 3 races. So it's going to be absolutely fantastic. We are going to be on PC. We are bringing you what can only be described as absolutely stunning pictures, thanks to the fantastic camera work of Mr. Kieran Clifford himself. So thank you very much for joining the broadcasting team temporarily. If we jump on board though with car number 32, Hutchison in 13th position, it looked like he was about to make a move there on Ian Egan in the Porsche. He's certainly mustering up to get the job done. Someone pointed out in the chat that these two guys are teammates. That would be number 32 and number 88, the two Aston Martin cars, both sporting the same very bright yellow livery. It was certainly point A to Hutchison, but Brighton has now got back in front, and we look at it close down as we jump on board with the beautiful Fanatec logo there on the back of Martin's Aston Martin. And quite frankly, the sound of that Aston Martin, how could you not love that, as we see the Porsche hearing down in the background. And I did mention a second ago that this would effectively be a battle for 12th position, because Stefan Van Hal would soon come knocking, and there we see 3 cars down the road, the very distinct yellow and red Ferrari of Mr. Van Hal, getting ever closer as these guys have very difficult decisions to make. Who do we defend against, who do we attack against? And I'll tell you what, it's very much a case of teammate Ian with a teammate and Van Hal there thrown in together. So will we see Van Hal and Egan work together to trump Brian and Hutchison in their team colours? We will certainly see. Come on, King 8, go, go, go. AKM Racing is absolutely cheering on King McGee, who is 5.4 seconds in the lead of Saristo. We're watching this battle though. There is the camera. It's almost as if the cameraman read my mind there, Bailey. Stunning work as we see them here. Oh, very, very, very close to that right-hander. runs a bit wide again. So easy. Exactly what we were talking about. Exactly what we're talking about, Bailey. So easy to make that mistake and find yourself all over the place. And there, Ian Egan returns the
Oh, he's
favour.
been overtaken.
He's going side by side. Nope, he's going side by side. He has. So Hutchison has got the nose in front.
Yeah.
He has got the nose in front. And what did I say? Stefan Van Hal, thank you very much for making the commentators' predictions come true. He is now going to hang on to the back. So the two teammates then have got Ian in their rear view mirror. Ian now has Van Hal in his rear view mirror. And if these guys don't make a decision on how to get up the road a bit quick, number 15, guy in 15th place, car number 17, Mad Max Taylor, will certainly look to put moves on. As Szymanski, I get too excited when I say his name, he's pitted from third place, so he's taken his mandatory pit stop with an hour left to go, so he will be looking to run long. So anyone in the top 10 now will be looking at that to make a decision on their tyres, because tyres, it would seem here, will be very, very vital towards the end of the race, given some of the overtaking action that we're seeing around here at the moment, Bailey.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just watching, who's this? Stefan Van Hal looking to make a move on Ian Egan in the Porsche, the Ferrari, a dominant car. Your favourite car, isn't it? You make that very clear.
Very much so, very much so. Just in case anybody did know, Team Ferrari. But
I'll be interested actually if we can stay on board with these two's battle. I would like to see where Stefan can get past Ian, because this is a very tough track to overtake, and when you do overtake, it's very impressive. Whether it's the inside or the outside, it seems to be an impressive track to do overtaking on. And I think this battle's going to continue for quite a while, because Stefan's just messing around a bit in Ian's rear view, just pop into one side, pop into the other side, just to make sure he knows 100% that he's there and he wants that position.
yeah, he really is, and that is a fantastic camera view there as we see that Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari with the Lexus of Ian Taylor in the background. And it is fascinating, as you say, this is very much a very difficult chess game, because there are spaces where you can make the overtake, but you very much put yourself at risk of catching a lot of the infamous sand here, and much like the comparisons to Bathurst, very easy to make a fatal mistake in these cars. Thank you very much to Braise the Land. Yep, we'll go with Braise the Land. Thank you very much for the follow 8 minutes ago. Bit excited there. Van Hal is Stefan. Yes, MSX, that is, yes, Van Hal, that is Stefan from the pros on the consoles. My friend, he has jumped to the PC Master Race, and yes, I was paid to say Master Race by the cameraman, so he is now owe me extra dollars. But we'll have to say the camera work there, absolutely stunning pictures you're being brought just now, the shadows, the onboards, yeah, really beautiful stuff, and really showcasing the moves here. We have a McLaren. Sainz then finds himself off track. Ziga taking off in the Porsche, and we see the two teammates. It was declared in the chat, these two guys, no love lost for one another, and Bryant is looking to defend furiously. This is, ooh, I'll tell you what, they're in yellow as well. Are we going to see Renault from 3 years ago? See, Bailey, you laughed before I got that. You knew where I was going with that straight away. Could this be a Renault battle here between teammates? Will we see them take one another out? We certainly hope not, but it would certainly make for an interesting narrative for the rest of the season if these two guys in British manufacturer cars have themselves a little coming together.
Hope not. If you said it's coming together, I hope not.
Yeah, certainly hope not. Definitely. Oh yeah, definitely hope not. We definitely don't want to see them coming together, but we certainly could. But yeah, as we see Hutchison then, he's looking to close down Aston Martin on Aston Martin. They do have Ziga in the Porsche in front of them, and they are going to close the gap to him sooner rather than later. So Bryant really is piggy in the middle here. Again, this track showing just how really will bring it the main.
John, number
Bailey.
20. Never mind. No, yeah. Number 22, the Ferrari,
Szymanski, yes, Szymanski.
He pitted and it hasn't registered.
Oh, okay. So yeah, no, it hasn't registered. It hasn't registered. It still says he has to take his mandatory pit stop. Yeah, well spotted, Bailey. So that could be problematic for Szymanski then. That really will cause issues. As we're on board with him now in the Ferrari. So it definitely looks like he got some damage repaired, so he definitely stopped. So I wonder if he's hasn't changed his tyres or taken on board enough fuel. So Hubert then will be disappointed. We're on board though with Marky Marx in the number. He is in 19th at the moment in the number 4 Ferrari. Of course, a very recent joiner of the PC, I believe. So he is making a show tonight. Very active in the SOP community, so it's great to see him showing out tonight and absolutely looking to put a move on Omar then in 18th place. These two guys still battling out, although Marky Marx has made his pit stop, so you would think that Omar will let him through, and he does run wide there. Well, not run wide, sorry, he takes a wider line to let Marky Marx through, so you do love to see that then. Marky, of course, has taken his pit stop, Omar hasn't, so there's no point really in Omar holding him up. It's just going to cause himself more problems further down the line as Marky Marx then off he goes and looks to improve on his position, which he should do as he is already pitted. Another Aston Martin then. We're talking about Aston Martins in well here. Of course, Bentley currently dominating the field with first and second place. But we've got the Aston Martins sneaking their way through the field. Of course, Brighton and Hutchison giving us some great camera work and some great views at the moment. But we're on board with Neuwirth then, Voice Tech. And he is getting the job done from Team Shark. In his pretty much racing green, what we'll call that racing green. He's up to 4th place. He's got Kenny Millard and Chris Jones absolutely hunting him down. So this little battle pre-pit stop then between the Lamborghini, the Ferrari and the Aston Martin, Bailey, it looks like it could hot up very, very quickly and leave one of these guys forced into perhaps making an early pit stop.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, the pit stop action's non-stop, isn't it? So, like you said, an early pit stop. I mean, it's possible, isn't it? So,
definitely, yeah, of course, yeah. You can definitely get an hour's worth of tyres and petrol fuel in a pit stop. So yeah, the guys that have pitted an hour, they can definitely make it to the end. But you've got guys, yeah. So we're going to see non-stop. Like, yeah, as you were saying, sorry. Yeah, we're going to see non-stop pit action. I would say from now. Right up until 30 minutes to go, so yeah, going to be interesting all the way through the field, yeah?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Definitely then. Ian Egan then is back up into the top 10 as Stefan Van Hal all over the back of Hutchison there. Oh, and he's off.
Oh, that's Van Hal.
Yes, that is Van Hal. Van Hal looks like he has made a little mistake there, caught a bit much of the famous Oulton Park grass, done himself a nice little 360 pirouette, and he is off. And Mad Max Taylor, I did mention that he would be one to watch sneaking up through the field. He's up to 12th, and he has himself a Stefan in his sights, and I would hasten it would be sooner rather than later where we'll see him make a move. So no, he has come into the pits. He has been separated somewhat from his teammate, so it looks like he's trying to remedy that by getting back in touch with his pit stop. Brighton, of course, the number 88, has already taken his pit, so we're on board with Sean Buck. He's up to 14th. The pit stop's definitely playing into things now, and will we see Hutchison keep the position ahead of his teammate Bryant when he comes out of the pit? Hutchison still up on his ramps, but he is moving, and there goes his teammate. So question very quickly answered there, Bailey. Hutchison finds himself fairly massively in arrears to his teammate Bryant. I mean, the two of them were fairly close on track before the pit stop. So the undercut not working for Hutchison, and the overcut absolutely signed, sealed and delivered for Bryant there in that bright yellow Aston Martin.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, wow, he did just fly past him. It's quite a bit of a gap. What is the gap exactly? It's not 9 seconds, is it? Surely not.
No, it will be a bit more than 9 seconds. We'll let the timing deltas
Yeah,
update. That is one of
catch
the
up.
joys. Yeah, it does take a while for them to catch up, even on the Master Race PC. As we see, Kenny Millardo up in 5th. He's not taking any time to catch up. He is looking to get a job done on Neuwirth before the pits. Millard, of course, car number 327 up in 5th place. He is well known to us via the PC Evo Challenge. Very, very, very quick driver indeed. Can make himself a little mistake now and again, but definitely will be one to watch as this championship progresses. As you and I well know, Bailey, from our exploits in the GT4, very, very important just to get some points in the bag from the first race. 7 race series these guys have got. Various race length, pit stop conditions, weather conditions. So it is a long series to go, 7 weeks. So for this one, you
It
definitely
is.
want to just be looking and bank some nice early points. Maybe not make too many mistakes or force yourself into too many errors. But Kenny Millard, you would think, oh, comes into the pits. So all my talk of getting the job done before the pit stop, and he comes in to take his pit stop, which will leave Sam Sue in 3rd, Neuwirth in 4th, and promote Chris Jones up to 5th position at the moment. And Alex Phillips, AJ to the P then, Bailey. He's on a nice little charge. Does, of course, still have to take his pit stop, but he will be looking to make moves and consolidate a solid top 10 if he can.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, for sure he will. I think that's what we know AJ is good at. I think he openly said the other day on when he was racing against Jenson Button and James Baldwin,
Yep.
that quali is not his strong point. It is the race. So anything he doesn't do in quali, he should make up in the race. And he has got quite a bit of clear air, and he has got an open track. I can't see anyone behind him, and I can't. Oh, I can see people in front of him, but I'm sure they're not going to bother him too much. He's going to have his head down now and fixated on hopefully just getting those times in and making his way back up the field after he pits.
Yep, definitely will be the strategy. Like you say, AJ definitely is a publicly self-declared racer rather than a hot lapper. So yeah, and anything he lacks in quali, he more than makes up for in the race, and definitely putting that on display this evening as we're on board with Neuwirth. Absolutely blown away, still looking at these absolutely stunning pictures that we're watching tonight. King McGee then, as is so often the case, the race leader gets very, very, very little camera time at all. He is pulling off into distance. He's got himself a 6-second lead over the field now. We'll jump in with his passenger seat there. There we go. Absolutely
A
beautiful
six
camera work.
second lead, John,
Yes.
with back markers in between. So he is getting the job done. Yeah, that's how much pace he's got. He's just confidently pulling away slowly. And same with Saristo. You can't take away the fact that he has got a 13-second gap from Sam Su. So fantastic job from both the top runners. Everyone. Fantastic job from everyone. The two Bentleys, though, absolute dominance at the moment.
Yep, they really are in a league of their own. I did mention the Aston Martins with the pit stops. They have stretched themselves out a bit with the best showing at the moment. Of course, Neuwirth in 4th. He does have to pit, so he's going to lose a considerable few places. But if we jump on board quickly, though, with car 999, Ian Egan, it looks like he's in 8th position. It looks like he could be getting the job done on Ziga here. He is very close to that fellow Porsche with Van Hal. In fact, is that Van Hal? No, because Van Hal is in a red and yellow Ferrari. So that is a back marker Ferrari, I believe, of Millard. But we are on the rear spoiler of the Porsche of Ziga then. Ian Egan, we know, definitely very quick, very stable. And these guys, I mean, full credit to them. These Porsches are absolutely a monster to handle at times. Very difficult, very easy to make simple mistakes with them. These guys running comfortably in the top 10 with their pit stops to make and looking to battle with one another here. Ian being involved in so much of the good stuff so far in the opening exchanges of these racing. These two guys absolutely putting one another to the sword. As we see Stefan Van Hal, so he's got his car repaired. Or sorry, no, he did go off the track, but it looks like he hasn't picked up too much damage actually. The fact that I declared these days, so his car looks like it's nice and clean. So he'll be looking to make another charge, but we do see ominously lurking in the background there Mad Max Taylor, one of the console, as I say, console regulars. He'll be looking to get the job done. We've got O'Neill then in the Bentley. He's come in to take his pits. So that's quite a few guys now that are taking their pit stop. McKenna has stayed in the pit, so I would guess he's got some fatal damage there, Bailey. But we're on board with Egan then, still defended from Egan. And these two guys putting on an absolute show for us here as they come through the chicane.
Yeah, absolutely. Where to make a move? I think that's the biggest question on track at the moment. Oh, and that's a little mistake. That's where you make a move. Ian, round the outside of Zieg. And he has made the move stick. Fantastic move. A quick dart to the right-hand side of the car, and he's got the move done. Fantastic.
Yeah, that really was Porsche on Porsche there through a very, very quick and committed section of the track. We're halfway through the track. We've got a few guys coming in. The lone Lamborghini of Chris Jones then. He has come into the pits. Keep an eye where he comes out. Ian Egan then has come flying past the pits. So himself and AJ to the P will move up into the top 5 at the expense of Jones, who's pitted. Camilio then is the lead driver on track that has pitted, so we'll see where Jones comes out in comparison to him. Millard, of course, in 13 is pitted, and Brian and Hutchison, the teammates who apparently don't like one another. That's going on what the chat said. They are still lapping in 14th and 15th. So again, it'll be interesting to see where these guys come out the pits. Chris Jones is showing us through the pits, so he's made a lightning pit stop there as Ian Egan is still battling in 6th, and the race leader King McGee is in the pits. He's only got a 4-second lead over Saristo, so he will look to get this pit stop done as quickly as possible. As that fantastic helicam there. We're on board now with Saristo then, so he is our leader of the race at the moment. He does have Sam Sue and Neuwirth in fairly close attention, so if he decides to pit now, these guys will take the lead of the race. They're only 16 seconds behind, but Neuwirth is coming to the pits then, Bailey, so it really is. Now we've got to the halfway mark. We're seeing an avalanche of pits, and I'd say that within the next 4 or 5 laps, all the pits will be done, and we'll see just how astute a move it was by Kenny Millard to pit as early as he did.
Yeah, he did pit quite early, didn't he? I lost what you said before that, though. I heard you said Kenny Millard pitted early. What did you say before?
Oh, I was just to say, it'll be interesting to see now that King McGee has pitted and see just how close Kenny Millard is to that. Yes.
Yeah, not only that though, Camilio in car number 333, he's pitted, and he's doing quite. We should keep an eye on him because I think the undercut's it's quite strong around here, so we should definitely keep an eye on him.
Yeah, definitely. Neuwirth then, he is in and out the pits. Yeah, King McGee though, sorry, King McGee has pitted and he's back out in 4th. He was in and out the pits like lightning, whereas Neuwirth was in the pits for a bit longer. Is that going to cost him? We've got Van Halen and Mad Max Taylor have both come into the pits, so of course we're going to see those guys tumble down the pit slightly. That just made a rather disappointing noise in my ear. Are you still there, Bailey?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep, he is there, Sorry, yeah. Sorry, there was a weird beeping noise there. I just want to make sure.
Very hard to keep up, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, you're fine.
A bit.
Alright, okay. But yeah, so we see Van Hal then. He has taken his pit stop. He's come out. King McGee is 4th on track at the moment behind Phillips, Sue and Saristo. Those 3 guys do still have to pits as AJ to the P then comes into the pits. Mad Max Taylor still in the pits, so he's taking a much longer pit stop than Stefan Van Hal, who came in at the same time, so that could have cost him. There's AJ in the pits, as we see. Yeah, Alex Phillips, AJ to the P, and I'll need to move that bar at the bottom because you guys at home can't see that. Okay. So, yes, so Bailey, there we go. King McGee then. He is looking to battle onward. He is side by side with the back marker, and he does have Mad Max Taylor, I believe, just in the background. So Mad Max looks like he's pulled himself an absolute blinder to get himself much further up the field. He's in 15th at the moment. That should change a few times when the timing belts update. But King McGee then, he came into the pits in the lead, currently running in third, so it's all about where Sarista can make the move. Alec Phillips is up to 5th, Bailey, so AJ to the P. Oh no, there we go, so the time is updated. He's in 7th. 8th, Ian Egan is coming to the pit, so yeah, so the timing boards are definitely keeping us on our toes here at home. Who do we think's going to win it at home then? Has King McGee got the job done? Has Saristo done enough? Can Sam Sue pull out an absolute blinder here and hold on to a podium position? What do we think in the chat? Let us know. Rainmeister, what's up? Good to see you. See LNR Bossman, Mr. Buck doing decent in 12th. Of course, Sean Buck, yes. LNR is in 15th. He's looking to put a move on Mad Max at the moment, keeping the pressure on as we jump on board. So yeah, Mad Max looking to make a move up inside and get himself into the top 10, but Sean Buck will be looking to rob him of the position he's worked so hard for. Battles all through field, and with points only going to the top 17 drivers. Like I was saying to Bailey earlier, it's definitely one you want to get as many points on the board as early as possible in the championship. Build yourself a little nest egg so you can push on towards the end of the championship, Bailey, and it looks like Sean Buck is looking to do that at the expense of Mad Max here.
I think so. He's pushing quite hard, and yeah, 4/10 the gap next into the into the chicane. It's quite. I think this track's just so so exciting to drive, but like I said earlier, you've got to be on your toes 100% of the time. You can't start relaxing your arms. You've got to have them tense the whole time. Sit back and relax is not an option. And I think Sean's showing that he's doing a fantastic job just trying to keep the gap, close the gap to
Yep, they're in the pits.
Mad Max Taylor.
Yeah, sorry, quick pit stop update then. So Saristo, who was in the lead of the race on track, he was in second, of course. He's come into the pits with Sam Sue. TSR Wake has followed him in, and Saristo is rocking and rolling as we see some cars come through. King McGee then is back into first place. Is he? Have I called that a bit early? Help me out here, Bailey. What do we think? Has he got it done? Sarista is off and going again, and he is in first place. He is comfortably in first place, so the undercut hasn't worked out for Oscar Sarista as he hoped it might. So our finished driver then still hangs on to second place, though. He is 9 seconds off the back of King McGee, so pretty much the same gap as when they went into the pits. So no time gained or lost by either driver. So bit of a win-win for both drivers there. Sam Sue though, absolute mover and shaker. He's going to find himself on the podium comfortably then when Ziga in the Porsche comes in to take his mandatory pit stop, which means Camilio, Bailey, you did call it early. He did pit early, and he is in 5th, and I would hasten to guess he's going to get 4th when Ziga comes in to take his mandatory pit stop. So yeah, absolute blinding game plan there from Camilio and Jones.
Oh, absolutely. I think Camilio, like you said, sorry. Yeah, he's in a perfect position for when Zieg stops. He's going to get that 4th position, and the gap between him and Sam at the moment is 11 seconds. So if he can get his head down in the next 37 minutes, or sorry, when Zieg pits, well, Sam's going to get a podium basically at the moment. He'll be the last in the podium spots, and then Camilio, if he can get his head down, maybe if he has a bit more pace in that car, he can we will see a challenge for 3rd.
Yeah, we really could. So the early pit stop, we will have to see if it works out though, because remember, the earlier you pit and change tyres, the longer you've got to go on those tyres. So he did pit early, so his tyres are going to be suffering a lot more degradation towards the end of this race, so it will be interesting to see if he can keep up these lap times as the race continues. We've got a follow there. From Leon's Meow, thank you very much for the following. I believe that might be Sophie, based on the conversation that's seen earlier. Is that the names that were getting chucked back and forward? Come on, Bryant, get past Dartin. There we go, come on, Hutch and Brian, they're still getting cheered on in the chat. Militant, let's go Ian. Hello Militant, welcome along, welcome along. AKM Racing, come on Lee. Confident in Kailami, right, keep up to date with everything. Yes, keep up to date with everything we do on Twitter. You can actually join in the racing, get involved, SOP Motorsport on Discord. Any second now, Simon will share it in the chat. We do call him the beautiful secretary for a very good reason. He keeps us all on our toes. ACC is not just for Christmas, it's for life. It really, really, really is. Make sure to get your league or community on Gridfinder. Yes, he's got Gridfinder on there. We'll get the SOP Motorsport Discord on there as well. Ian has jumped at the Astons. Yes, he has. He got the move done on the Astons, and Stefan Van Hal then, as we can see there, absolutely harrying Hutchison, who is now inadvertently fending off the charge so that Bryant can get off into the distance. So he won't be happy with this situation. Bryant will be looking to take a top 10 position here if he can hold on. Hutchison is going to have to do everything they can though, Bailey, because with Van Hal in your rear view mirrors in a Ferrari, he definitely could be looking to lose that spot if he doesn't have his A defensive game brought to the court today.
Yeah, I think this is when mistakes start happening. When I've just noticed then Van Hal braking a lot later into the chicane than the Aston Martin. Perfect view for perfect angle we're watching from now. You'll see Van Hal, I think, creep up even more into this next braking zone. We'll watch. I think we'll see him slightly. Yeah, there we go. So he's shooting up, and see, look at that.
Wow!
Exactly what I said.
Absolutely stunning work, yep, and he will absolutely be making moves, Bailey. Absolutely call off the stream there. And there we see just up ahead then, the sister Aston Martin. We've lost sight of that so that is Bryant we're on board with. If we jump on board with car number 27, Van Hal in the Ferrari. He is the man looking to make the move on these two Aston Martins. Aston Martin 1, Aston Martin 2, and Ferrari in arrears then. There is Bryant taking off up the road in the number 88 car. The number 27 car of Van Hal, though, is the car looking to make the moves, and he is loitering with intent. Very, very, very serious intent there. Mid-engine flow MSX. You better believe it, mate. The mid-engine cars here absolutely getting the job done. As we see Stefan Van Hal then still battling, Bailey. And with 30 minutes to go, you'd have to be hard pushed to put money against him, finishing inside the top 10 at the expense of both of these Aston Martins here, the way he's going.
Yeah, do you know what? I foresee if you get one past one of the Aston Martins, you're going to have a slight problem, because if these two are talking, they're not going to want to hold each other up, but they're not going to want to hold the guy behind up much. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And I think if Stefan can put the pressure on, is it Hutchinson? Yes, Hutchinson, the first Aston Martin he gets past. Hopefully he has got the pace then to get the second. But I think the problem is being in between those two, and then Hutchinson just pushing, and then you're in a sandwich of them both, and that's a problem, I think, that he's going to have to deal with in a very short amount of time. And this is Sue, by the way, looking to challenge for podium before the podium sitter has pitted.
Yes, indeed, and that was a mouthful well and truly delivered there, Bailey, so well done. You would think that one of the Porsches will get out of the way, as they're not actually racing one another. Ziga still does have to pit, so he is in no way going to be racing Sam, so I think he will just let him ease on through. These two guys, yep, absolutely giving one another some space. So as you said then, Sam Sue, what a drive from him today in the Porsche. We did talk about the Porsche being a tricky car to drive. It made an absolute resurgence in this series, with 5 of them still on track. We're being treated to 2 of them in battling, and Sam Sue, TSR Wake, is looking very, very, very much like he's going to plop one on the podium in the opening round of this British GT Championship, Bailey.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Also, just to mention, yeah, Sam's move then was. Oh no!
Oh,
And that's
yeah.
a coming together for Van Hal and the. Is that Hutchinson? So did I call that? Is that what
I
I meant? I.
Yeah, was it a coming together? I don't know. I don't know if there was much contact there. I think both
I,
drivers.
I, I, I think so because I think what happened was what we saw from the onboard a little bit later on the brakes and a little bit of a collection from the rear. And Van Hal has taken absolute full advantage of that and gone.
Yes, he has. He wants that top 10 position. So it's, as far as he's concerned, one done, two to go as he takes on his teammate. Did car 27 just push 32 off track? Didn't catch that, Stewie. It's a very, very good question. Very good question. I'm not sure I quite caught it either. I am, yeah, not going to use the excuse of trying to multitask a million different things to make sure it's all running, but I am. But I didn't quite see there, so I'm going to give the drivers the benefit of the doubt and say that maybe one missed his braking zone and the other one, and they
Yes,
both took
yeah.
both took a slightly less than
I
decisive action, which led to them sliding off into the distance. Ziga then has taken his pit stops with 29 minutes and 56 seconds left to go. We have had everyone take their pits, and Szymanski is going to be a massive, massive loser in the race. Unfortunately, found himself at the front, didn't manage to clear his pit stop, so didn't lose the pit stop marker, so had to come back in. Although, Bailey, it wouldn't be an SOP event if we didn't see some track limit penalties. We haven't seen anyone speeding in this pit lane, so they've all managed to behave themselves with the pit stops. 29 minutes to go. Do we think we might see some drive-through penalties for track limits, given that we haven't seen any so far, and these guys really have been pushing it on a track that is very easy to break the track limits on?
Yeah, I think you broke up slightly. I think you're talking about track limits. I'm sorry.
Yes, track limits, yep.
Yeah, track limits. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because there's some inviting runoffs. I think we should call them.
Yes, we will call them that, yes.
Which are very nice to use, and like you said, it probably can be quite detrimental to the race if you abuse them.
Yes, I would say so. Oh, some car park camera work there. We do love the car park, although that's obviously filmed before the last year, since we've all been locked down and grounded. So no fans there. So the car park would of course be empty. So this would have been pre-lockdown, just like the virtual social distancing that Bailey and I of course practice when we are commentating to you from SOP HQ. Got to keep it safe, Bailey boy, yes?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. So King McGee then, off into the distance. We're on board with Saristo in his Bentley as we see a Porsche then taking a shortcut there. He was blue flagging to let some guys through. Another guy dealing with blue flags then is the race leader, King McGee. He's coming up on the back of Stefan Van Hal in 12th. And Bailey, so it just shows you the pace that King McGee has got. He's about to lap 12th place, who is battling his hardest to get into the top 11. As we see him, move over to the side and very comfortably let King McGee through. We certainly hope to see Hutchison do the same as King McGee cracks onwards and upwards. We did see him, I think it was the first, second, the third, perhaps fourth corner, Bailey. We did see a slight mistake by King McGee, but other than that, I mean, you called it. He had a flawless start at the start of the race, and he certainly hasn't put a foot wrong since.
No, absolutely he is. Like, I think you used, well, we'll use the phrase session of his own. He is completely out of this world, I guess you could say.
Yep.
39 laps of leading. He did get challenged at the start, but not too much. He didn't get phased by it at all. And a fantastic job, just slowly increasing the gap, is Mr. King McGee.
Yeah, he really is. Shout out to Ziga then in the Porsche. He left his pit stop, the last man to pit. He's up to 9th position, but special honours to the man on camera just now, of course, Camilio, car number 333 in the Porsche. He is in 4th position, so he's absolutely made some massive moves through the field during the race. Pitted very, very, very early, so we could see him struggle with pace towards the dying 10 or 15 minutes, given his tyres will be much older. And that's something that Chris Jones in the Lamborghini will be looking to hammer home sooner rather than later. We've got Neuwirth, of course, in 6th position, and AJ to the P. Alex Phillips is in 7th, with Ian Egan in 8th and Ziga in 9th, and Bryant making up the top 10 here in our opening salvo of the British GT Championship, sponsored by Grid Finder. It's been an absolute cracking race so far, Bailey. We are an hour and 5 minutes in. We have positions up for grabs all over, and Lance Taylor. Car number 17 is back into the pits, Bailey. What's going on there, do we think?
Number 17. That is a bit of an odd one. Not too sure, is that...
Yeah, it is a strange one. So he has come back into the pits there, so that's going to cost him some time. He was doing well, having himself a great little race, going to find himself comfortably in the top 15, and now he's going to find himself comfortably in all kinds of trouble. He's got Bertolio going to be hunting him down in that Mercedes, and that will not be a comfortable experience for him. So he's going to have to get it on. Of course, he does have a couple of cars in the background. The Mercedes of Bertolio, and I do believe it's Marky Mark as well in the Ferrari. So he will definitely look to get some clean laps and extricate himself from that situation sooner rather than later and get off up the field. Praise the land, keep it up, Lee. We've got Jigsaw. Good evening, Jigsaw. How are we doing, bud? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is, of course, the British Championship, SOP, sponsored by Grid Finder. British Championship, it is round 1. It's a 90-minute race. It is, of course, Bailey and I in the commentary box. Hello, Miss Knuckle. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying it. It is the PC. We have jumped over to the Master race this evening. It's been a great opening race so far. We've got 20 guys still left out on track, and we have positions up for grabs right through the field. We have battling teammates who could still look to trump one another. We've got Porsches. For me, the big story of the day, though, about to say though, Bill, has got to be the Porsches. From a car that has very, very rarely been seen in championships recently, absolutely locking out the top 10 as far as the number of cars making an appearance. Even though the Bentleys are 1 and 2, 4 Porsches in the top 10.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, what you got to do with the Porsche is you got to drive it a certain way. You got to be very consistent, quite careful actually. Something that Sam wasn't doing was being careful, and he did just get the move done. I was like, whoa, hold on, you can do that in a Porsche? I must be doing something absolutely wrong. I think Ian did exactly the same. He's just been resting the Porsche running. He's absolutely flying out there. So yeah, top job to the guys in the Porsches, because it's not an easy car to drive around a track like this. When I say a track like this, I think I'm sort of comparing it to a bit like an Imola or a Barhurst.
Very much a roller coaster. Yeah, this is more of a Bathurst roller coaster, I would say. Definitely is brutal on your shock absorbers as you're running over this very, very uneven terrain. Sam Sue then looking to dispose of a back marker in the space. That's Sean Buck actually, down in 14th place from, of course, the team LNR. So making himself a great show tonight. But Sam Sue, we were talking about the Porsches, and it led me on nicely to my next point, which was, of course, the Porsche that is currently sat on the podium. TSR Wake involved in a few bits and pieces early doors, but to say that Camilio has had a good drive would be to underestimate massively Sam Sue. He's on the podium.
Camilio has dropped. He's just lost the position to Chris Jones, and the gap went from 9/10 to about 1.4.
Very quickly indeed. Yep. Tyres. Pretty sure we did call it tyres. So that could well be his problem there, I think. And the Porsche's off and in the wall.
That?
It's Camilio.
So it must be tired. He's really struggling with the car.
He really is struggling, so that pit stop very early means that his tyres have had a fair bit of usage. And with the track temperature at 25, he would have been pushing. Like you say, he's had a great drive, so he's really put in some Olympic level laps, and it looks like that has cost him some tyre wear. So unfortunate there for Camilo. Oh, and that's a fair bit of damage on the front of that Porsche with a car that relies so heavily on its front aerodynamics. That is going to compromise his rolling lap times for the next 20 minutes. We may even see him pit to repair that damage. High drama coming in the last 20 minutes then. We've got 20 guys left on track. Bertolio is the last man out there. Camilio in the Porsche. We were just talking about the Porsches putting on a great show, and it looks like Camilio might have overplayed his hand with his early pit stop in the tyre choice. But if we jump on board though with car number 27, look at that. It's all, tell you what, you think he'd done this before. It's Stefan is of course looking to get the job done on Bryant. He disposed of one of the teammates. There may well be a stewards inquiry into that. We will let you know if there is anything in that next week. Oh, we've got some more people. Yeah, Jay Morris saying his tyres are falling off. Kadras Gaming, good morning. How are you doing in Australia, Kane? Welcome to the action. You can see the rear spoiler then of the Aston Martin, and you can almost see the top of the windscreen of the Ferrari. You can't see the front of the Ferrari because it's so close. It is obscured by that muddied spoiler. Fantastic camera work there. As these two cars come side by side along the start-finish straight, they will go side by side in the braking zone, and the Stefan will try and get the move done, and he's got it done. I thought Aston Martin may get the cutback done, didn't quite get the drive at the corner he perhaps would have liked, and Helicam then taking us through. We jump on board. Again, fantastic work here as we're on board with Brian in the Aston Martin. So he has fallen foul to Van Hal, who has finally completed his quest to get into the top 10. Can he catch up again to Ian Egan? Can he authority Ziga? Ziga did pit late, so he will have nice fresh tyres towards the end of the race. Bryant then, well, his only concern at the moment surely will be keeping car number 32 Hutchison well and truly in his rear view mirror, being that is his teammate. And it's all fine and well, teammates working together, Bailey, but you still like to finish ahead of your teammate, yeah?
Yeah. Well, it depends how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling generous, I don't mind.
I love that. Maybe less at PR, so it's surprisingly competitive.
I think, John, this is a perfect time to mention our sponsors.
Yes, indeed, Gridfinder. Yes, indeed, Simon has been sharing the link. Thank you very much to Gridfinder for sponsoring us on our inaugural maiden voyage into PC broadcasting, bringing you some of SOP's finest drivers for your perusal. We're doing the British GT Championship. We've got 7 weeks. That's right, ladies and gents, 7 weeks, and bang in the middle, best of all, there is 2 hours of Spa. Yes, that was the heavens opening. Let me just fetch my tambourine. Do you think I should actually start shaking my tambourine? How much do you think Simon would freak out, Bailey, if I started shaking a tambourine live during commentary? What do we reckon?
Crazy.
There we go. A little shake of the tambourine to celebrate the launch of the British GT Championship. As we see, oh, that's a back marker. Yeah, so that's Saristo going past the back marker then. That is the back marker. That's an Aston Martin. It's a yellow Aston Martin. So he is in about Bryant or Hutchison, someplace in that area. In fact, Van Hal, he's catching up on Van Hal. So it's Bryant, he's just gone past. So Saristo is in second place, is looking to lap Ziga and Van Hal. Would suggest that would be sooner rather than later. Very, very, very clean race we have had so far, Bailey. It was a great start by all these drivers. We've seen a few incidents, but in the grand scheme of things, given the nature of this track, given the variety of cars and the variety of braking and acceleration zones, this has been an absolute cracking and opening exchange from these SOP drivers.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely, can't agree more. Definitely.
Yeah, but it really has been good. Eleanor Bad Bull, sorry, good morning, Mr. Raven. Well, good morning to you too. Good to see you joining us. Jay Moore, tires are falling off. Yes, Ben Gallagher, loving the post recently. 5 to 10 kilometres an hour down in a straight line, but perfect for a place like Oulton. Ah, okay, so there you go. Ben Gallagher chucking us some driver insight there. What fantastic camera work today. Yes, Kidras. Kane, you're right. Absolutely stunning camera work. There was never in doubt. We were always going to have it absolutely running beautifully tonight. There was never ever any issues whatsoever on board with Neuwirth.
I was just going to say, can I mention the beauty of that Aston Martin we're watching now? Mr. Cameraman, let's stay on board with this guy. I just want to mention that is how an Aston Martin car should look. I'm not digging at all at the F1 team. Look at that colour.
Look at
Perfect
that there.
racing green, British racing green.
Listen to that
Fantastic.
noise. Can we just, ladies and gentlemen at home, can we just, thanks to the power of technology, let me just drown out the commentators. Oh, there we go. There's the camera I do love. This is the one where you see the drivers having to actually work for their money. The steering inputs there as he comes through the chicane. Gets the accelerator back down, trying to be so gentle with your steering inputs, but you'll see the wheel as he goes over here, the car bouncing, undulating, heavy on the brakes, full steering lock left, right, full steering lock left, background. Quickly on and off the accelerator, back on the accelerator, over the curbs. You see the wheel kick hard there, trying to take your wrists off you as you come up the hill to the left-hander, which kicks you downhill into the right-hander, which has been the death of so many drivers and cars in these races. This is an absolutely treacherous little section here as we see the steering wheel again gripping on for dear life. Heavy on the brakes, full right-hand steering lock round this almost hairpin roller coaster, downhill, uphill, downhill, left-hander, right-hander, along the start-finish straight, Bailey. Truly, as you were saying before, a truly remarkable course, and in a car like the Aston Martin, it's hard to see how it's anything other than just massive fun right now in this race.
Oh, absolutely. Well, speaking of fun, next week's race at Donington will be is an extremely fun track to drive. That is similar in terms of how I think a lot of these tracks we've chosen, the British tracks, Snetterton, Oulton Park, Donington, they've all got a narrow nature to them, and it's almost as if these GT3 cars shouldn't be on them, and they're sort of built for like Ginettas, maybe a bit of like open seat F4 British Championship, but these cars fit perfectly. I think they look fantastic on it. I'd love to actually go and watch a race around one of these tracks. It'd be fantastic. And also, Donington is down a hill and up a hill, and then flat for a bit, and then start a lap and back down a hill. So that'll be exciting to see as well from an onboard view.
Yeah, it really will. Let me just do some social media sharing. Love to see all you guys in the chat. MSX, you're right, this championship is absolutely 100% stacked from top to bottom, inside and out. And we even have a reserves list. That is way better than, they're all better than me. Which isn't difficult, I understand. That's not exactly a compliment to those guys, but I can assure you it's meant as one. They are very good. So we do have a really strong field. Speaking of really strong field, we've just been watching there AJ to the P, Alex Phillips, as we said, you brought up Bailey. He very publicly is public about the fact that he's not much of a hot lapper, doesn't necessarily get the job done in qualifying, but what he lacks in qualifying, he more than makes up for in the race, and he's up to 7th place, and at the pace he's going, he could well put Neuwirth in a very uncomfortable position in about 6 minutes' time.
He could. Oh, absolutely, especially if that was his dirt we just saw getting kicked up. I don't think it was. But if it was, I think he'd be getting a bit more excited. But yeah, you're absolutely right. If anyone's going to do it, it's AJ.
Yeah, it really is. Sam Sue then. Another one getting an honourable mention. He is up on the podium. So yeah, we're talking about AJ running a great race. Sam Sue has definitely run a great race here. He's got himself up to 3rd position. So he is running absolutely great guns here, coming into the closing stages. As we see that the best lap he's put in today, of course, a 1 minute 34.2, 2 seconds off that pace at the moment. So, but very, very, very quick lap times he's put in, and that is what has given him the opportunity to take a podium in the opening British GT Championship race here at SOP, sponsored by Gridfinder. And that is what we're here for today. It was a 90 minutes race. We have had 80 minutes in the bag. 80 minutes of King McGee dominance. Saristo has pretty much dominated his second position as well. It is a castle that no one has been able to breach. Third position though, that has been something that has been widely up for grabs, and I anticipate it could change hands again before the end of the race. So we will see how this. Can't wait to get my PC and get on some of this action. Yes, indeed.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, Paul didn't even make turn one. Ouch. That is a sore one, my friend. Yeah, bad Bill. Well, I can reveal. I will be. Yeah, we will be bringing you PC. I may even get involved in some PC racing as well. After a tumultuous waiting time, I got 3 emails today that confirmed there is actually a racing god, and they have seen fit to smile down upon me, and I should have a PC, well, suitable at actually switching on sometime very, very soon, as opposed to the one that is doing such a fantastic job at the moment, but yeah, it just doesn't quite cut it in so many departments. So yes, I may be joining the PC Super race sooner rather than later. We'll see how that one goes on. Yes, indeed, bad Bill. A bit of bad luck led to a bit of good luck, and yeah, I should be fingers crossed sooner rather than later have this PC up and running. Means we will be bringing you more of this absolutely fantastic on-track action, which is absolutely not going to close anytime soon. We've got Bryant then. He is looking to battle on his hands. He's trying to hold on to 11th place here. The problem he's got is the car in front of him is a podium sitting Sam Su. So he's trying to defend while trying to respect the guy in front of him fighting for a podium. But it could make it difficult. But what it's also going to do is make it difficult is Hutchison in the background, Bailey. These two teammates found themselves separated after the pit stops, but Bryant in the 88 and Hutchison in the 32 car. They've got O'Neill sandwiched in the middle, and he could be the thorn in the side to these two guys getting a bit of separation here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think after Hutchinson's little incident he had with I think it was Stefan Van Hal, he's done a fantastic job just to be where he is. He's 13th, so yeah.
It really has done well. Really has done well. Ziga as well then. He's up all over the back of Ian Egan. Oh, we've seen a mistake there. We'll stay on board with this side by side then. So O'Neill absolutely gets the drive and gets the move done. He had to leave him room there in the Aston Martin, and absolutely did. He realised that he'd made the mistake. The Bentley got the power down much quicker, and Adam O'Neill then, I did think it was going to take a couple of minutes, but nope. Sooner rather than later was the cry from O'Neill, and finds himself now up to 11th place in that Bentley. So the Aston Martins that were showing so much promise early doors are now falling by the wayside in 12th, 13th and 14th. We do of course have Neuwirth up in 6th, and did reckon he was going to get challenged by AJ in 5 to 6 minutes. That was 2 minutes ago, and AJ is right on track. Catch up with him in a couple of laps. In fact, it could be sooner rather than later that we see some Mercedes on Aston Martin action here. What do we think, Bailey? This one's looking close.
Yeah, I think this is it. He's going to start trying to get a bit closer now. Hopefully, put the pressure on, because he is in that position. Who is that? No, there's a position behind it, but it's a back marker. Just wait for the time screens to load again and see how close he actually is.
Very would be one metric. I think he's 1.3 seconds behind now.
Yeah, that would be good.
I was going to chuck a guess at it. He's going to get across this line, and 1.6. So he's gained 3 tenths there. So another 3/10 gain. This, of course, is the section where he is the quicker driver. Can AJ then get himself into the top 6? He will certainly be keen to do so. His quickest lap of the race of 1 minute 34.7 and his last lap of 1:34.8. So it just goes to show you the pace that AJ is consistently showing in this race today, Bailey. To be putting in to be a 10th off your fastest lap deep into the race certainly is a testament to the driving prowess that AJ's showing in that Mercedes, and speaks volumes to the whole. Maybe you can't get it done in qualifying, but when you get out there on the race, all you need to do is keep going round and round in the same time, and it will reap the rewards and benefits that AJ is about to benefit from here, would say.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's what is he, 1.2 now? So yeah, he's gonna start planning. I think where he's gonna get the move done. 5 minutes isn't a long time. How many laps do you think that is? 3, 4?
Yeah, well, their current lap time, what, about 1 minute 34s, so they're going to get 3 laps definitely, potentially 4.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what he doesn't want to do is let this what looks like possibly a fast Ferrari backmarker approaching him.
Kenny Millard,
But
I think.
yeah, Kenny Millard. So it could be a good thing to let him pass, but if he lets him pass and he doesn't, and then Kenny Millard doesn't get um, the Aston Martin, then he is going to be in big trouble. So I think yeah, so that there's AJ braking a bit later, pushing a bit more. I think now, so that gap's going to be much further down to about 6/10. I think so. This is I think it's yeah 6/10 the gap. So this is it. I think he's going to want to start making moves.
Yeah, he is. And if we jump on board with car number 32, 13th and 12th is currently being disputed by the Aston Martin teammates. These two guys are on. One of them's gone off. One of them has gone off the track, and that is Hutchison that's in arrears. He was the man in arrears at the start of this manoeuvre, so Bryant has got, oh, and it looks like he's really struggling to hold on. He really is struggling to hold on to the back of that car, as we see Sean Buck then. No, we don't. That is a Lamborghini. So that is Chris Jones in 4th place then. He is going to move through past the back marker. So we'll jump back on board then with AJ, because he has closed down car number 223. He has closed the gap magnificently on the back marker. So the teammates, oh, look at that. Absolutely beautiful view. Just wish it didn't say NVIDIA, I'm sure. Oh, very, very close. How close is that?
Close.
Very, very close. Such
That's
precision
close.
on the brakes, Bailey. That is absolutely startlingly good stuff there from AJ to the P, and just shows you the level of control. Oh, as he runs off and catches a bit of curb there, Bailey. Oh,
So does
Neuwirth. Down you go, Bailey. Take it away, kid.
No, I was going to say helping each other out a bit there. So we're just watching from the back of the Aston Martin, and I think I'm going to predict, like I did last time with Stefan Van Hal, that AJ's going to. Oh, and he's broke a bit later. No, he's been a bit more smart actually. What's the word?
Cautious.
What's the word, John?
Bit more
Smarter?
cautious.
Is that more cautious?
Yes, more cautious.
More cautious.
There you go.
But yeah, 2 minutes on the clock. He's not gonna wanna. Oh, he is sliding a bit now. He's definitely pushing. Look how he's gaining, but he's not gonna be close enough to make a move. Is he gonna make a move into the loop? Turn 5 is a perfect place to do it. But he's got to get the inside. You don't want to be making a move around the outside. He is down the inside here, which makes him around the outside for the next corner. Can he make the move done? AJ to the P. Alex Phillips going to look for the switchback. Perfect opportunity, but the Aston Martin of... Oh, I'm going to have to butcher that name.
Neuwirth, yep.
Has done a fantastic job of defending, keeping the tight line, just chopping the nose of Alex Phillips.
Yeah, absolutely. Putting the car exactly. Yeah, on you go then, Bailey.
Here we are on board into... Oh, who's that pulling over? Hopefully that's the back marker getting out of the way. Alex just getting a bit closer now into the second chicane. This is what I was talking about earlier, where they sort of get faster, then they slow down. Now this is the second part of the track. This is the final sector and the fast part. But I think the Aston Martin seems to have the upper hand. Alex Phillips wrestling the car around these corners, trying to get it to stick, trying to get more speed through the corners. Using a little bit of runoff there into the final corner we go. and 1 minute 27 seconds left. What's the lap time around here, John? What
1
do we
minute
see?
32. 1 minute
1
34.
minute 32.
Yeah, 1 minute 32, 1 minute 34.
So
Something
this
in
could be
that
the
area. Yeah.
final lap.
Yes, indeed. There
What's
is the
this?
timing board come up. So that's the
Oh,
timing board with the interval. It doesn't show the lap time though, but it does show the intervals between each of the drivers as we see the Mercedes and the Aston Martin. Then two of the longest nosed cars, largest wheelbases in the game, and AJ is getting some MSX cheering on from the chat. MSX laying his heart on the line. Who do we want to see win then, kids? Who are we cheering on? Should Neuwirth hang on in there with the Aston Martin to bring home a well fought sixth place, or are you cheering on AJ to the P in the Indigo Lime? And which of the Bryant Hutchison affair are you throwing your hat? Which side are you going on? As we see Hutchison, oh, and he's caught a bit much grass.
oh, big.
Bit keen on the accelerator, on the grass and the gravel, and as you said in the first 2 laps of the race, Bailey, if you make that mistake and hit the grass the wrong way, it is good night Vienna, hello the walls.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean that was a huge hit. You could see he was struggling with the steering. AJ, Alex Phillips all over the back. I think this is it. He's going to want to make a move early, well, as soon as possible, as we come into the final last corners, and then we go under the Oulton Park Bridge and into the final corner, swooping around. He's close. He's very close, and the Aston Martin makes a mistake. Alex Phillips dives down the inside. They side by side across the line. Here we go. The dash.
That's a
Has he
drag
done it?
race.
I don't know.
Oh, they're
Has
going
it
to
one more
start
lap?
another lap. They're going to
Are
get the
they going
start next lap.
again?
He's got
They're
it
going
done. He's got it done. The cameraman has
Oh my
decided to
God.
torture us. King McGee then is leading the race. We will jump back on board with Alex
Oh my.
Phillips to see if he's got the job done. There we go. He
I think
has
the Aston
indeed.
Martin's going to want to get the move
Yes.
back though.
He is going to chase him all the way down, so we'll stay on board with these guys. King McGee is going to win the race with Saristo looking comfortable to take home second, and Sam Sue a very well-deserved
Oh
podium.
no.
Fantastic work on the Aston
And
Martin
that's it.
Neuwirth.
That's the mistake that we were talking about.
Oh,
That is it.
deep breath.
Wow, that's a
Yeah,
good one. That's a good
that's
one. Oh, there's
oh, it's
another.
Kenny Millard in the Ferrari spinning off. As we
Oh
see
wow.
Ziga then in the Porsche, he'll be looking to capitalise. So an absolutely cracking ending to the race here. King McGee comes home to take the checkered flag with Saristo in second place. Sam Sue surrounded by back markers, and Stefan Van Hal, who's in 10th at the moment. But Sam Sue, TSR Wake then coming home to take a podium spot. So well done, Sam, in the opening race of the British GT Championship. SOP sponsored by Gridfinder. We've got Jones in 4th, and Camilio, we did worry his tyres at the end. He did have a bit of a collision. Give us a flash of your lights there, big fella. Well deserved 5th
Yes.
place. Alex Phillips then, car 223. Late battles at the end there. He's going to take 7th with Neuwirth. Going to take 7th. We've got Ian Egan, who is going to take 9th. Ziga has taken 9th position. Van Hal, sorry, got completely distracted there. Mad Max Taylor in 15th has got a drive-through penalty, so that is absolutely going to destroy the top 15 he's worked so very hard for. He won't be able to take that drive-through penalty, which means he will get a 122nd time penalty added, and given the length of this lap, that means he could well see himself dropping down another couple of places. So even after the race is finished, it is action, action, action all the way. Bailey, definitely going to have to be a hot cup of tea with honey after this one. He only got a 30-second penalty, so only 30 seconds has been added. So Mad Max Taylor will hold on to 15th place there. Oh, Bailey, talk me through something. That was, yeah, what an opener that was.
That is exactly what I envisioned when I was thinking about the race this morning. That couldn't have gone better in terms of racing, smooth in terms of broadcast. So thank you very much to our cameraman,
Indeed.
Kieran,
Here, here.
and even more important, we need to thank our sponsors, which I do have a script I need to read. I've been ordered to read.
Oh, excellent.
Gridfinder is the easiest way to find online sim racing leagues, etc. Corsa Competizione, iRacing, F1, R Factor 2, and many, many more racing sim games alike. You can find league races in the UK, USA, and Australia. head to gridfinder.com where you'll find ourselves SOP Motorsports, as well as many more. Alternatively, if you have a league of your own or community yourself, sorry, or community, and you are watching this, get yourself signed up on the site and join over 1,000 other leagues. Do
Excellent.
it. Do it now.
Said. Do it now. Come on. Get to the website. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah, AKM to the racing. Didn't even see the winner cross the finish line. Sorry, bud, we didn't. We were too busy watching the live on-track action that was being battled out between the guys. We do have the... There we go. There's some live times on the board. We've got people absolutely going crazy. Mr. Twister, thank you, with the follow. Was there some other stuff happened there? P2 for the first race, solid result. Yes, indeed. Oh, is that you, Mr. Twister? Saristo. Ah, excellently done. Excellently done, sir. Fantastic race from you in the Bentley. Absolutely put everyone else to the sword. So, yeah, well done to you, sir. Fantastic race. MSX, yes, a great start to the championship. Moose Knuckle, yes, it was a great race. Kidras Grayman, wow, what an ending. Great stuff, everyone. Yes, indeed, it was. Absolutely blown away by the support for you guys tonight. It was, of course, SOP's first dalliance into our own go at PC Racing and Broadcasting. And we hope we have done you guys racing proud. We'll drop that screen there. It is, of course, the British GT Championship, sponsored by Gridfinder. My name's John Wright. I was your lead commentator for this evening. The young man joining me and trying to get a word in edgeways through that whole thing was, of course, SOP Curly Red Bailey, and the man on the cameras that saved the day and taught us how to do this and has just made this a fantastic experience with that camera work, of course, is Mr. Kieran Clifford. Thank you very, very much to everyone.